Welcome. A lot of us are trying to make sense of things, navigate a world that feels, well, pretty complex sometimes, maybe looking for a bit more meaning.
That seems to be a constant, doesn't it?
It really does. And today, we're doing a deep dive into something that might offer an interesting perspective. A source called Prophets' Lives.
Ah, yes. It's got this fascinating premise.
Right. It suggests that looking at the lives of prophets, these historical figures, isn't just history. It says we can find actual blueprints, practical insights for our own lives today.
Exactly. And the core idea, I think, isn't to see them as these, completely unrelatable superhuman beings, but more as people, individuals who faced really profound challenges. And their messages, their lives, they speak to these deep human needs for courage, for compassion, finding purpose.
So it's less dusty history book and more a mirror. The document seems to present their lives that way.
That's a great way to put it, a mirror. It reflects back their struggles, but also their conviction.
And their search for connection, maybe? It suggests all that can actually shed light on our own searches, for meaning, maybe for justice, just feeling like we belong somewhere.
Definitely. And building on that mirror idea, the document points out these recurring themes, like you mentioned, having the courage to act on what you believe.
Right. Which isn't easy.
Not at all. And also the empathy piece, connecting with others, and just that fundamental drive to find some significance in what we do.
It feels very current, actually, not just ancient history.
Precisely. These aren't just old concerns locked away in the past.
The source actually says something like, this isn't just a history lesson, it's a mirror reflecting how their choices, sacrifices, divine messages can ignite clarity in your modern life. That's quite a claim.
It is. It pushes you to think.
So when you think about figures who really stood by their convictions, maybe against the grain, what stands out from this source material?
Well, the document gives examples, doesn't it? It touches on, say, Abraham's unwavering faith, even when it went against, everything society expected. Or Muhammad's determination to push for social change. Their specific situations were obviously very different from ours.
Radically different, yeah.
But that underlying quality, that resolute commitment, especially when facing opposition, that's a powerful takeaway, isn't it?
Okay, so drilling down then, what's the practical guidance? If Prophets' Lives says we can get clarity from looking at them, how does that work? Is it religious instruction?
Not necessarily, or at least not exclusively. I think the idea is broader. It's about understanding how to live with courage, driven by compassion, guided by that sense of purpose we talked about.
Right.
If you look past the specific doctrines sometimes, you see individuals wrestling with things we all wrestle with. Doubt, resistance from others, the sheer difficulty of getting a vision across.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
And their responses, how they bounce back, their resilience, their dedication to their ideals, even when it was hard. Those are the blueprints the document talks about, I think.
Okay.
It's about pulling out those core human strengths and thinking, okay, how does that apply to my life, my challenges?
So it's almost like the document is saying, look, these weren't perfect people.
Definitely not presented that way.
Right. They were humans under immense pressure, making really difficult choices. And maybe within those choices, there are valuable lessons for us trying to navigate our own complex world.
Exactly. And that seems to be the real value proposed here. It's not just about historical reverence, though that might be part of it for some. It's more about finding those threads, courage, compassion, purpose that run through their stories, and ask yourself, how can I nurture those qualities in my own situation?
Okay, so bringing this all together for our deep dive today, this look into prophets' lives really seems to highlight that these figures, okay, yes, they lived in very different times and places, but they grappled with fundamental human questions. And in doing so, they left behind these, enduring examples of resilience maybe and commitment to something bigger than just themselves.
That captures it well. And maybe a final thought to leave people with, building on that. Consider which part of these prophets' journeys really clicks with you right now. Is it their unwavering faith, their struggle for what they believed was right, or maybe their message of hope, even in dark times? Which aspect resonates most with the challenges you're facing?
That's a powerful question.
And then perhaps, how might their blueprints, as the source calls them, offer you a fresh angle, or maybe just a little bit of guidance as you figure out your own path forward?